Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to give you 5 facts about the Black Lives Matter movement. The Black Lives Matter movement began in the United States in 2012 after George Zimmerman was found not guilty of murdering Trayvon Martin in Florida. The movement grew to protest not just the justice system in America but police brutality against black people.
Trayvon Martin.
Justice for
Trayvon Martin.
Justice for
Trayvon Martin.
Justice for Trayvon Martin.
In 2016, the movement went global following the police killing of 37-year-old Alton Sterling. He was shot and killed by white police officers while being held on the ground outside a convenience store on 5th of July. A day later, 32-year-old Philando Castile was fatally shot by police officers during a traffic stop. When someone says Black Lives Matter, they aren't saying Black Lives Matter more than anyone else is. What they're saying is Black Lives Matter as well. Black Lives Matter also. Black lives should matter. If you are someone who is inclined to say all lives matter or blue lives matter in response to the Black Lives Matter hashtag, then you don't understand or don't want to understand what people are asking for, or you are deliberately using it to dilute the message of racially motivated violence and police brutality against black people. The next time you see the hashtag trending, think of this image and imagine the person saying, "Please sir, it's been over 400 years since slavery ended. Can my life matter now? Can the lynching stop now?" Defund the police doesn't mean getting rid of the police force. The aim is to get governments to relocate resources, funding and responsibilities that currently sit with the police to other initiatives that would improve public safety. For years, community groups have promoted the defunding of law enforcement, asking for government budgets and public safety spending to be used to prioritise housing, employment, education and community health. The police are heavily relied on as a solution to social problems, especially in the United States. They have police in schools, police are used to de-escalate instances of mental health crises, and as we've seen for some black people, this hasn't ended well. As when it comes to black people, de-escalation isn't a first response. Compared to contemporary nations, the US spends significantly less on social services and more on public safety programs, and has exceedingly higher incarceration rates. These investments in police and prison, however, don't translate to a safer country. In fact, police in America kill more people in days than many countries do in years. According to data collected by the Washington Post, around 1,000 people are shot and killed by the police in the United States each year, and black men are more than twice as likely to be victims as white men. Black Lives Matter is a decentralised movement made up of millions of people and dozens of organisations seeking equity for black lives and other changes. While some individuals within the movement have said anti-Semitic things and shown prejudice against white people, you cannot and should not tar everyone with the same brush. There's this habit of expecting black and brown communities to denounce the bad actions of an individual in their community, and yet white communities aren't required to do the same. The movement isn't made up of just black people. As one of the largest civil rights movements in the last 50 years, there will be some people with other agendas, like wanting to tear down statues, for example. At the end of the day, the Black Lives Matter movement is made up of individuals with different life experiences, and some may be bigoted and prejudiced. If one bad cop doesn't spoil the whole bunch, the same rule should apply for the Black Lives Matter movement. Despite the Black Lives Matter movement being almost 9 years old, many people had never heard of it until 2020. With the global lockdowns, more people were sat in front of their TVs watching the news, and for some, the Black Lives Matter protests following the death of George Floyd were an eye-opener for them. Despite being on lockdown, protesters took to the streets and pulled down statues of racist slave owners. Naturally, white nationalists saw this as an attack on their history, even going so far as protesting the protesters and having a dig at the police at the same time. The news cycle was filled with Black Lives Matter updates, plus there were big companies owning up to past racist activities, apologising and vowing to do better. TV programmers also reviewed their past content and removed them. Paramount, for instance, removed US reality TV show Cops, and that show glorified police aggression. In the UK, the BBC removed comedy show Little Britain from its platforms because of its portrayal of black and Asian characters and the use of blackface. Channel 4 removed Bo Selector from streaming services because in hindsight, comedian Lee Francis putting on latex masks to impersonate black celebrities could be deemed offensive. There are more shows just as ancient that were reviewed by programmers and deemed unacceptable. Many white people were upset at the decision and focused their anger on the Black Lives Matter movement. Worse still, football teams started taking a knee before a match. Unbelievable. Bringing politics into that sacred British sport. The fact that Kick It Out has been campaigning against racism in football since 1993 was clearly forgotten. The news that black people were not happy about racism perpetrated against them must have been upsetting for those who believed Britain was the least racist country in the world. They've been dragged kicking and screaming out of their comfort zone and been made to face the reality that yes, racism exists, and no, black people aren't prepared to take it quietly anymore. According to a poll carried out in November 2020, 78% of UK Conservative voters believe that Black Lives Matter movement has inflamed racial tensions. The results are unsurprising. To such a close-ended yes, no, don't know question, it would have been more valid to ask if by raising awareness of racism, the movement has made them lean into their racism more. Because the truth is, racism has always been prevalent in the US and the UK. 2016 showed us that people were more than happy to be open about their racist and xenophobic tendencies, and nothing has changed. People now claiming that Black Lives Matter has made them less inclined to care about black people probably didn't care about them to begin with. So there you have it, 5 facts about the Black Lives Matter movement. If you found this video useful, let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share. But if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.